Rev your engines and fasten your seatbelts. It's time for Thunder Talk with Dan Bailey, keeping you up to date on everything going on this season at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Thunder Talk is powered by Arcadia Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Now, here's your host, Dan Bailey.
Hey, race fans, welcome to another edition of Thunder Talk. I'm Dan Bailey. This week, everybody is talking about the huge event coming up at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. The World of Outlaws, Morton Building's late model two-day special, the Dairyland Showdown, presented by Dynamic Concrete Resurfacing. Night number 1 is Friday. Night number 2 is Saturday. There'll even be practice thrown in on Thursday. If you want to go watch them figure out the big third mile, the maiden voyage of the World of Outlaws, Morton Building's late models at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. I guarantee you these ground pounders will not disappoint this Friday and Saturday night. And one individual who's hoping to put a stamp on the weekend for himself is joining us on Thunder Talk this week. None other than Jake Timm, driver of the HURCO Machines number 49 late model. Jake, welcome to Thunder Talk.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
It is a huge week with the World of Outlaws, Morton Building's late models coming to Mississippi Thunder Speedway. You've had success with your late model at Mississippi Thunder Speedway and other tracks. For example, you've won some Dirt Kings Touring Late Model Series events, but I would guess this is kind of a whole new ball game. Tell me your thoughts going into this weekend's special event at Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the best in the business. You know, all these guys do it for a living, and with the series, there's going to be, 15 guys that really are the best in the country, and it's going to be a whole different ball game tonight.
Let me ask you this. When you get to this caliber of racing with this caliber of drivers and this caliber of machinery that you're going to be competing against, does all of your experience at MTS make a big difference? I mean, these guys make a living figuring out new tracks when they go to them every week. And I'm not at all trying to take anything away from your skills. That's not what I mean. But does your extended stay at Mississippi Thunder Speedway play into your potential for upsetting the apple cart this Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, for sure. It's a huge thing to be able to go to a track and know what you need to do. Even us, when we go on the road and race with a series or different events at different tracks, that's one of the biggest challenges, is knowing what to do at a different shape track or different play, different banking, and knowing how to adjust for it. Racing as much as we do at Fountain City, it's definitely, it takes that guessing game out of it for us. We know exactly what we need to do, and hopefully I can just get in and drive the car, and it'll be quick.
You're coming off a successful last Friday night at Mississippi Thunder Speedway with your modified. Didn't quite get the win, but you were challenging Dustin Sorensen for that win. Came home with a second place finish. Do you drive this track differently with your late model as opposed to the way you might drive it with your River City Manufacturing USRA modified?
Not really. You're just going a lot faster and things are happening a lot quicker. I guess I feel like we're kind of always running similar grooves, or always one way I know around the track, you know. As
we record our discussion here, you're actually in the shop working on the late model. I'm not asking you to give away any secret setup tips that you're working on, but are these just kind of last minute checking the bolts and nuts and making sure everything's all right, or are you making some major adjustments in preparation for this weekend's two-day special at Mississippi Thunder Speedway?
We're going through everything really good and checking nuts and bolts and making sure everything's greased and moving properly, and also try to throw them on scales and make sure they're good to go. Just making sure we're ready as can be.
Have you had that struggle with yourself inside your mind? I know this car, I know this racetrack, let's just go do it like we always do it. Or should I make this change, this little change, maybe this big change, maybe try something different? Have you had that struggle at all?
A little bit, yeah. Or, trying to adjust things here and there. I might, we maybe have learned over the last year or two that I might think will be better, but overall, just going to Fountain City, I mean, that's the track I've raced the most. I've been racing there for 10 years. I just am very confident going into this weekend that I think we'll be fast. I don't know if we'll be a contender for the win. As many good cars are going to be there, but I think we'll be good.
I want to explore that topic, your expectations for this weekend, in just a moment. But first, you've built up an excellent program, both your modified and your late model. And I know that there are many people and supporters and sponsors who would like to get a quick mention here. So let me allow you that opportunity to run through the list of everybody who's on board for 2021 and helping you make this run, not only with the modified, but also this weekend with your late model.
Yeah, I got to thank HURCO first and foremost. I mean, they're our biggest sponsor, and my dad, and Spencer and Mike and Kurt, my whole crew, everybody that helps out, my family, my girlfriend Emma, mom Jenna. As far as the rest of my sponsors go, Harmon's HVAC, River City Manufacturing, R&R Machining, Oak Ridge Fabrication, OFI Performance, MB Customs, Champion Oil, Stone Machinery, Riverland Trucking, Swift Springs, Kevco Oil Pans, J&S Cattle.
Great list of supporters and sponsors that are helping Jake Timm Racing through the 2021 season. They all come into play. Everybody helps out in getting you to the highest level possible. We were talking earlier about your expectations for this weekend. We just kind of touched on the edge of that topic, but I want to start off with your engine program. You started your own business, OFI Performance, building race engines for not only local and regional competitors, but also big-name competitors. And this week, you will have one of your power plants up against the biggest of the big. Do you feel like your engine program is ready to compete with this level of competition?
Yeah, I think we got a pretty good thing going. We got LS engines in there. They're a pretty new thing in their late model world. Chad Mullins has helped us out quite a bit to get them going, and they got a lot of power and they're smooth, and I think they're as good as anything out there, really, that I've had anyway.
All right, so let's talk about expectations. I'm assuming you have some sort of a mental idea of what you would consider to be acceptable and what would be awesome. I mean, we all know what would be awesome, and that would be a couple of feature wins, both Friday and Saturday night. But where would you put your acceptability range? Have you thought about that at all for this weekend?
A lot of it depends on how many cars show up and the caliber of them. If we show up and there's 50, 60 cars there, it's going to be tough to even make the race. I'd like to think that we could make the race at that point, but it's just going to be tough. There's a lot of good cars that are going to be there, and I really want to make the races, and if there's 30, 40 cars, it'd be cool to be in the top 10, top 5 maybe even. I don't know, it'd be interesting to see how it all plays out. I've never been to a track where I have more experience than these guys, so that'd be interesting.
And you do have one or two starts with the World of Outlaw late model, so it's not like you've never felt this level of competition before. Is it going to be possible to get into the car Friday night for qualifying and then the heats and the mains and kind of shut that off in your brain? Just forget the fact that these are the World of Outlaw late model drivers that you're competing against and just think of it as another dirt track race that you've got to try for?
Yeah, I think I'll be able to shut it off and tell them side by side with Brandon Shepard if that happens, Like I said, they're the best in the business, and they're going to be tough either way.
All right, so what's been the mood around the shop? Everyone is excited, I'm sure, but is everyone, including yourself and Dad and the entire family, everyone feeling positive about both Friday and Saturday night for the number 49 this weekend?
Yeah, I think everyone's really excited, and being that we're so heavily involved at the track, everybody's just super excited that we have a show of this caliber that's going to be there and hoping for the best weather-wise and turnout-wise. As far as the racing goes, I think we're all just hoping for the best, but we all know what we're up against, so we're just all hoping to have a fun, good weekend.
Jake Timm, driver of the HURCO number 49 late model, going to be a double duty driver this weekend with both the modified and the late model as the World of Outlaws Morton Buildings Late Model Series comes to town for a two-night special event, the Dairyland Showdown, presented by Dynamic Concrete Resurfacing. Practice on Thursday. If you would like to watch these world-class drivers come to Mississippi Thunder Speedway and try and figure out their machinery, their setup, and the track, you're more than welcome to visit the track on Thursday from 6 to 9. Free admission into the grandstands just to watch them practice and do their shakedown runs. On Friday is when it gets serious. General admission, front gates open at 4:30. They will have hot laps at 6:30. Qualifying about 6:45, and the opening ceremonies followed by green flag action by those World of Outlaw Morton Buildings late models and the River City Manufacturing USA Modifieds is scheduled to start at 7:15. You can get all the information online by visiting either the official Mississippi Thunder Speedway website, MississippiThunder.com. You can follow them on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And you're more than welcome also to look up the World of Outlaws official website for information there. They've got a lot of details about their drivers, point standings, entire schedule through the entire 2021 season. Again, it's going to be a huge deal, not only for the track, but for the area to bring a series like this that gets regular national television coverage here at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. in Fountain City. Again, a big thank you to Jake Timm for joining us this week on Thunder Talk.
Thank you.
That was Thunder Talk, keeping you up to date on everything going on at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Thunder Talk is powered by Arcadia Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
You ever notice that when you're on a fishing trip, you drive your boat all the way to the other side of the lake because you think that's where the best fishing is? And the people staying at the cabins on that side of the lake, well, they come and fish where your cabin is. You don't have to drive a long ways to catch the big fish. And at Arcadia Motors, you don't have to drive a long ways to get the best deal on a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram truck. The best deals are right in the bay next to your cabin. Take the short, scenic drive to Arcadia Motors, arcadiadodge.com.